Hello! Today I'd like to read you another excerpt from my novel, The Smallest Thing. This is one of my favourite scenes. It's a scene between my main character Emmett and her best friend Deb, who is one of my favourite characters in the book. And it's a moment where Emmett decides that she is not going to put up with the lockdown anymore, and she's going to leave, and she wants to ask Deb to come with her. And I wrote this scene before the pandemic, before we knew anything about social distancing and lockdowns. And it became one of my favorite scenes in the book, so I want to share that with you. If I leave tonight, I can go through Cooklet Delf and make my way down the crags. It's a scramble in the daylight and will be treacherous even in the eternal twilight of summer. But there are no houses or farms in that area, no neighbours to spot me and raise the alarm. From there, it's less than 2 miles over Eam Moor and through Stokes Wood to Grindleford Station. If I can get that far, I can hop an early train on Sunday, when there won't be many people around, and be in Manchester or Sheffield in less than half an hour. From there, I should be able to travel freely, blending in with the other travellers. Ideally, I'd go straight to London, pick up my new life as if nothing had changed, but given all my correspondence about the flat and job, I'd be too easy to track down. I have one big niggling doubt. What if I carry this thing, whatever it is, out of the village? What if I get all the way to London only to discover I brought something infectious with me? I recount my plan, then look Deb straight in the eye. I know this is a very bad idea, and I know you're going to try and talk me out of it, but I can't just stay here and wait to die. It is a bad idea, one of your worst, which is saying something, but I think you should try. I almost lose my nerve. Right there. I want to hug Deb, but I can't. I want to cry on her shoulder and tell her she's the best friend I could ever have hoped for. But I can't do that either. But don't go to London, she adds. Go to your auntie's. It's less populated and they can take precautions until you know you're safe. I want to argue that I can't risk harming my family, but I know Deb is right. I'll do everything I can to avoid contact with other people, and once I'm at Auntie Margie's, Mum will know what to do to keep us all safe. Come with me, I blurt. Deb pushes off and leans back in the swing. The ropes around the tree branch creak as she glides back and forth. Even though I can only see her eyes, I can tell she's considering my proposal. Maybe weighing her odds between making a run for it with me and taking her chances here in the village. To me, it's a no-brainer. But Deb's hesitation causes me to second-guess my decision. I can't, she says at last. I start to object, but she stops me. They'd hear my wheezing before we even got to the top of the hill, and 2 miles across the moor, I can barely make it to the end of the village without having to sit down. I wouldn't make it, which means you wouldn't make it either. I'm not going to hold you back. It wouldn't be fair. Well, I'm not going to live without you. That's what wouldn't be fair. Deb shakes her head no. I'm not leaving you here to die. The words catch in my throat as the reality of my decision hits me. But Deb just laughs. Salty, do you know how many different pills and potions I take each day just to stay alive? Whatever this thing turns out to be, I promise you, I'm already taking something to prevent it getting me. So just go and send me a postcard when you get to your aunt's. Deb reaches out to rest her hand on my back. Just in time, we both pull back, measuring the distance between us and shuffling around until we're far enough apart. I can see the anguish in her eyes at what we have to do, and I feel the same anguish in my gut. What kind of life is this that you can't even hug a friend? The skin across my back starts to ache, where her hands should have landed. I roll my shoulders, trying to erase the tension, trying to remember what it feels like to be touched by someone. But all we can do is look. Remember when we were young, Deb says, and we pretend to smooch? Johnny Depp, I say, turning my back on her and wrapping my arms tight around my torso, running my hands up and down my back and making smoochy moans. Brian Cox, says Deb, doing the same. Oh, Brian, she sighs over her shoulder. I love it when you talk particle physics to me. Show me your Higgins boson. I giggle. You are sick in the head. But I hug myself tighter, and for a long minute we sit there holding ourselves and imagining the day we can hug one another again. It's a poor substitute for the real thing, But for the first time in days, I don't feel so alone.